Welcome back to the Thursdays Are the Best Days podcast, episode 288.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, 288. If you take 2 times 8, you have 2 8s, and that's 288.
16.
No, 2 8s.
You're right. Yeah.
Man, Bruno, we're back. It's
We are
Thursday.
back. It's been a bit.
You know what it is? It's not just Thursday. It's not just the best day. It's the even better day.
It's the even more convenient day.
No. Do you know what 12/21 is?
No.
Do you know what holiday tomorrow
No.
isn't, but it's my favorite day of the year in a certain way?
Fish Friday?
No, those are great though. We're getting close to it. Tomorrow is the winter solstice.
Oh.
You know what that means? Tomorrow is the worst day for light in the sense that we've reached peak darkness. Every day after Thursday, we have just a teeny bit more light. Just a
The light do be coming back.
teeny bit more light. Every day you're gonna look at the sunset and be like, damn, that's one more minute than the day before. So we've done it. We've reached tomorrow is us reaching the worst. It's us going into don't go quietly into the night. We've gone as quietly annoyed into the night as we have. It's never gonna get worse than tomorrow. That's my pseudo favorite day of the year. I hate June 23rd, which is like the opposite day. It's
I just find it funny that you're like, you love the day with the least amount of light. I understand your logic and I get it. It's just like, it's kind of funny to me too.
I'm an upswing type of guy. I love beginnings of journeys. I hate endings.
Gotcha.
Like I told Madeline, I'm like, there's so many TV shows I refuse to finish. I hate the end of shows. Like, I'll be damned. There's a lot of like books and stuff I like want to refuse. I'll do it a little bit more with books, but there's a lot of books I would happily just never read the ending of a book of. I just hate endings.
Understandable. Speaking of books, I read one.
Did you?
More like I got a new one of one. The He Who Fights with Monsters new book came out.
Yeah.
Read it in like 3 days. I was excited for it.
I'll get to that stuff.
I'm sure you will.
Man, so bro, do you want to get into it? Do you want me to go off the fucking deep end?
You're the captain of this ship. You take us to wherever you want to go.
Bro,
this is your podcast right now. I know you probably got a lot. Not a whole lot happened with me, so you take the reins, brother.
You know what's in my hand, Bruno?
No, I don't.
Something that's near and dear to my heart that I like I hate and love.
What's that? A duck.
A duck.
Did you rent some kind of Jeep while you were down there?
No.
Is it?
We didn't.
Oh God. Okay.
No. So I find your whole Jeep life annoying.
You want to be funny?
Oh, you owned a shirt?
So it was a gift from my dad. I would never buy a shirt like this myself.
That's the most pretentious. I know the people in this world would love that shirt and have like 4 different colors of it. That's the most pretentious Jeep shirt.
It's stupid.
It's
a fucking cult, Nick. It's a cult.
So, on a cruise ship, apparently, I don't know what the fucking obsession in this world is of rubber ducks. I really don't. I mean, I like ducks. They're there's nothing inherently like evil about them or like
they're not yellow though. Like, why is a rubber duck yellow?
Baby ducks are yellow? I don't know why, like, yeah, baby ducks are yellow.
Okay, fair. You're right. Now that I think about it, yeah.
Your Jeep world is just to be like it's just for them to like shake each other's like penises all around. That's like that's the whole like gift duck thingy. Well, on a cruise ship, it's like the same shit. It's where you hide ducks around the ship for people to find, and they put the little notes like 6 through 16 December 2023 cruise, and if you hide them good enough, people might find them on future cruises, like weeks down the line.
Yeah.
Or they don't do any at all. This was just this on
Like
our last
maybe
night.
somebody's gonna find the dusty duck, you know?
Yes, yeah. On our last night, the last event we did, we were leaving because I was Madeline and I had the same dinner the last night. Something got us. Something
Oh,
both. So like,
okay.
but it didn't get us to like the middle of the night. But I was like, we were sitting at the last event, which is one of my favorite events. But we did like 2 hours. It was like 3 hours total. But I was like, I'm pretty done. So as we were leaving, she turned her head, and in the one like the sign for the little venue we were in, there's this duck sitting in it. So someone must have just put it in there. It was pretty noticeable. But we got a duck. But all cruise long, there was a Facebook group made for our cruise on our date. So everyone on the ship was on it. Not everyone, but like 500 of like the 3,000 people were in it. So if you
Sure.
give or take that like one person for a family might be in it, could have been like a good chunk of people roughly.
Could have, sure.
People were posting all week about finding ducks and hiding ducks, and like we finally got ours, and I was like, oh my god, this is such a I just don't understand the obsession with these things. They use them. They just use them all. It like it's you know, it's just I don't know. I don't know.
I have such an urge to bring like a pocket full of ducks to your house if I ever come to your house again. Like next time I'm
Bro,
there, I'll just bring a pocket full and just start hiding them places.
I don't know. Like I have this one. The only reason I saved it was to basically bring it up on this podcast. The squeaker fell out on the inside. My cat. I thought my cats would be more interested in like the squeaking duck, but because I was like it could sound like it's like killing it as they're like squeaking it. Didn't care. Whatever. But we got a duck. That was the start.
Oh, I
Man,
love it.
so uh to sum it up, the cruise was great. We had a good time. I have a couple stories of note. I guess the theme of the cruise, I guess I'm gonna do an overarching theme,
Okay.
and the way I sum up the cruise to people that have asked me about it. Um, so you, Madeline and I had a great time. We thought it was awesome. Was it perfect in every sense? No, because like I mean, it's just not nothing's like perfect. Um, the theme that I decided upon for the whole vacation was you can't take a miserable person and put them in a fun situation and expect them to not be a miserable person.
Okay.
So I have a
That
couple
seems fair.
stories slash examples of all this. So in the Facebook group for the cruise, before we left, like a couple days before, I randomly saw one post that was like, "Is anyone else disappointed that that the ship is sold out?" And then there was a bunch of people like posting, "Yeah, it's disappointing. I'd rather." I'm like, okay, I get it. Don't get me wrong. I don't like inherently. I'm not gonna diss the statement in like general. Like, oh, wouldn't it be nice if the ship was half full? That way we have like
Yeah, but you
what?
can't expect that's the whole point of the cruise ship is to sell out and make money.
Yeah, and I'm like, I get the sentiment, but like they were it's the attitude about like they're being vindicted. Like it feels like they were being attacked because it was sold out. I'm like, whatever. Like it was sold out. Whatever. Don't pick a cruise at a popular time.
Yeah, go
With like
go get some obscure ass cruise in I don't know that circles
yeah,
Jamaica 6 times. Have fun.
yeah. So I saw that. The first full day was an at sea day. So that means that you're not stopping, you're waking up and you're on the ship all day.
Just to remind myself, where did this start and where did it end?
We left from New York City. So like
Okay, so you got a haul to get down to the islands.
yeah. So we had 2 days before we reached our first stop of Dominican Republic.
Okay. Yeah.
So the first day's an at sea day. You know, you wake up, you do stuff on the ship, you don't stop, it's just cruising. Breakfast
It's in the
times go
name.
between yeah. Breakfast times is like 6:30 to 10. You know, big window. Now, first day of vacation, uh no one has anything truly to do that first day. We go down to get breakfast 9:15. Maybe a little bit on the later side of breakfast, but really not. If you're talking about most people's lives, they're probably going to sleep in. They
Sure.
probably wake up for their life between like 5, 6, 7 for work, most of these people. So sleeping until like 9 on the first day of vacation is kind of realistic.
Yeah.
So we go down to get breakfast, and there's a wait. There's 3 different restaurants you can get breakfast. There's 2 little mini restaurants where you have like actual waiters like kind of serve you from like a fixed menu, and then there's the buffet, which is just buffet.
Yeah.
It's basically the same food at both. The little restaurants are just meant for I don't know. It more of a restauranty feel, but same ish food, just kind of served to you.
Yeah.
Um, so we go down there because I don't know. I enjoy it a little bit more down there than versus the buffet. Um, the woman's upset. There's a wait at like 9:15, while everyone in the world's trying to get
But
breakfast at this.
what else are you gonna do at 9 in the morning?
I know the bar's open right next to us. I'm like, go sit down, have a drink. Like, I'm sorry. Like, she's acting like the whole cruise is like ruined because she's gonna have to wait for a few things. I'm like, this is peak breakfast. Wake up earlier. Like, everyone's trying to eat right now. I'm sorry you're upset that it causes waits, but like, don't eat at the same time everyone's gonna eat, and you don't have wines. Like, it's a pretty simple fucking concept. So that was like again just someone like miserable, but like Madeline and I just sat there. Yeah, so the ship actually was equipped with Starlink this year. The previous year it was satellite,
Nice.
but
Okay.
the Starlink was like actually sick. It was I had great internet the whole time.
Good. That's sweet. Nice to have.
So I sat there, you know, scrolled some Reddit, uh, avoided Discord because I like the UI changed and I just was not feeling like dealing with it.
Fair.
As I was leaving, my like app updated that day, and I'm like on. I just like got on the ship and I'm like looking at it. I'm like, what the fuck am I? Why am I trying to reply to everyone? I just want to see who
Yeah,
the
no,
fuck.
I hate the new update on Discord mobile. It's stupid.
I'm like fucking. I'm like fuck this. I'm not touching Discord
It's
for like a
like
day or two.
it's like, hey, you have that desktop app that has everything the way it's been forever, and then you had that mobile app that copied that. You know what? No. Fuck that. We're going to change the mobile app because we can.
The mobile app was felt fine. It was nice. It
I
was
agree
usable. It
with
was
you.
easily accessible. So, yeah, I went to fucking Reddit. I'm just like scrolling. I'm chilling. You know, whatever. So, crazily enough, our buzzer went off. We got to eat, and everything was fine. And like our day
Crazy.
wasn't ruined. Crazy. Um, that first night we were going to a comedian, um, just to see who like they were doing like kind of introduction shows, just to get vibes of them, to see if like
Yeah.
be like, oh, if you like us, come see us all week, blah blah blah. I'm like ordering my drink. Dude comes up to me. I got a Crown Royal and ginger ale. Um, dude comes up to me because he didn't apparently read like how the drink package works and had like no understanding of like what how it like
Yeah.
operated.
Mm-hmm.
Comes up to me, he's like, "Oh, you better make sure that's included in the drink package." They tried to get me earlier, and I had to pay a couple dollars because I'm like, I turn around and I tell him like, bro, I read how the drink package works, and I got the package that like met what I want, so I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'm sorry. Like,
Well,
he was probably trying to be helpful, but like
I
he said it
know.
in such a way that like he felt like they felt like he was attacked and like
And
he
I can speak the boomer for you, okay? So
yeah
he went and said, drink package, great, done, click, ordered. Didn't look at anything else.
yeah no
and just thought that that meant he could have whatever he wanted.
Oh yeah.
That's
I'm
what
just
that means.
I'm just like uh, I got the drink package that I knew what is included, and I just like walked away. I was like, I don't probably thinks like all those fucking youth talking to their elders like that. I'm just like, bro, I'm sorry. So he was vindicted because he had no ability to read.
Yep, sounds right.
Dominican Republic.
Or alternate boomer, the wife booked the whole fucking trip, and
Oh
he had
yeah.
no idea.
Oh, backtrack. We had just gotten on the ship. The rooms weren't ready because they have
They got like
people.
20 minutes to figure all the shit out.
Yeah, so the crews before us, when we got there were still people like putting their shit on buses, and like
Yeah,
they were
no, like
just
it's
like,
like the door didn't even shut and you guys are going in.
yeah. Um, so we get on the ship. Uh, room's not ready, so we're just hanging out in public areas. When we go get lunch because it's like right around noonish. Um,
Sounds like a great plan.
yeah, we're sitting next to this table of like, I guess they were brothers, and the one brother's like wife. They were all sitting there. Dude's super upset that the drink package doesn't include cans of sodas, even though it doesn't say anything about like there are cans of sodas, but they're like separate. Like his package included just fountain sodas, and dude's like fuming about. He's like
Where do
flagging.
you need a can?
I he's
It's
like
just
flagging people
like
down. His brother pulls up on his iPad. Like again, they're just fuming because he's not getting cans of sodas. He's getting fountain sodas.
I get it, but like come on, man. Just it's
Uh,
fine.
it was just so okay. Then we get to the Dominican Republic, and we were at we actually were at where Madeline and I's honeymoon was. Like on
Yeah,
our excursion we had planned, we passed our resort we stayed at for our honeymoon.
that's
Like
cool.
we were like, oh, that was what, we were right there. We had a excursion planned that was like the waterfall experience. In the description, I'm even gonna be able to pull it up quick. Uh, waterfall. I'm gonna post the description. So, like, you book an excursion. Typically, there's like a title, so what like they're called. So, Di Hamagua. I don't know how to say it. Waterfall full experience, and then you have a description and an ability level. The ability
Okay.
level is like a simple bar of like, how is this an easy thing, a moderate thing, or a challenge?
Sure.
Like challenging. And there's also excursion type. So this is a level 3 challenging adventure excursion.
Okay.
Yeah. In the description, it says you will jump off some waterfalls, negotiate others by sliding down slick rock chutes, and swim in sparkling pools at the base of all of them. Wooden walkways, blah, blah, blah. A leisurely hike. Um, need to know this tour includes approximately a 45-minute hike uphill on an established dirt trail. Like, there's a lot of like words here telling you exactly what this is.
Sure. And like to me, I think of this easy, moderate, challenging as like one being easy, grandma's coming.
Yeah.
Two, it's a family trip. Three is probably like, hey, don't be a fat ass and you'll be fine coming with us, kind of thing. Like, be in a little shape and you'll probably be
Yes.
okay. Because it's a cruise. They're not going to take you, like, cave scuba diving, you know?
No.
Like, it's still got to be accessible to people.
Yes. So we we get there, and there's a small group of grandmas that somehow become really upset that this. I think they booked this thought thinking it was like, again. I think they booked it without reading. They saw a picture and a title, and they thought they were going to look at waterfalls. They were upset about having to go on a hike and jump off waterfalls. They were very like, what's going on here? This is not what I signed up for.
Yeah.
And they were very like upset. Like the woman, like I'm not doing that. Like I'm like, what did you sign? What? Did we read? Did we look? Did we like what?
Yeah.
I can pull up YouTube videos of like this. This is an excursion you couldn't have in the United States. When it says like wooden walkways, there were literally 4x4 posts as like stairs that are slick, no grip. Like I'm over here
Just
like
like death walkways. Got it. Yep.
yeah, I'm like over here gripping the railing. Like I could have easily slipped and just like like hurt myself. And I'm like young and like I'm over there like white knuckling it because it's not safe. Nothing about this.
Yeah.
We're on the platform to jump off. There's just a Dominican dude like pointing down roughly. He's like, right there, right there. Someone would jump. You'd come up next to him. He's like, oh, don't jump there. Where the person just jumped, like, don't jump there. Then he like points a little bit back, being like, jump there. And you're like, oh, okay. Well, they jumped there. Should that be worried? Like, should anyone be worried about that? Nah. Um, but yeah,
God.
I don't know. People just need to fucking read, right?
Yeah. No, they do.
Now, a little side tangent about Dominican Republic. Uh, the Dominican Republic has like one beer. It's their beer. It's their
Okay.
Yingling.
Okay.
Imagine if
Got it.
Pennsylvania was a country
Yep. It'd
and
be
we were
fucking Yingling.
and we'd be really proud of something. But imagine this is like the only beer you ever see.
Yeah.
So at the end of the thing, they're like, you know what you need after jumping off waterfalls on a hike? You need an El Presidente. So I'm like, yeah, sure. When we were down there on our honeymoon, Madeline actually never got it at the thing. It was, we, I, we just never did. So I get two of them. Fucking, guess which size bottle they sold me?
Oh boy. That looks
There's,
like a very large bottle.
so on the left hand
What
bottle,
is that,
that's
a
a norm.
40?
That the left hand side is a normal beer bottle. That's like a
Yeah.
normal like you get a
That's a
6 pack.
12 ounce. Yeah. Uh-huh.
The rightmost bottle is roughly like it's like 650 to 700 milliliters. Like the right one's almost the size of an American bottle of liquor. You're
Jesus
like 50
Christ.
milliliters short from like a bottle of liquor size beer. It was massive. Um, got two like we basically got like a liter and a half of beer for like $8 because I got two of them.
Lovely.
Crazy. Good beer though. Don't get me wrong.
Hey,
I was actually
that's
very
what
happy with.
counts.
If you're ever, if you ever see it, El Presidente, Dominican Republic, try it.
All
It's my
right.
recommendation.
I'll keep that one in mind.
But yeah, they were like, oh, you can drink on the bus. We're never gonna arrest a foreigner for drinking. So
All right.
yeah, so everyone's like on the bus. They bought their like El Presidente, and we're just like sipping them away. Blah blah blah. That didn't piss off the old people. Um, okay, next day we're in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Puerto Rico has this rainforest. It's like a seven wonder of the world for like natural habitats. I think it like ranks on there. It's like
Okay.
one of the more diverse rainforests in the world.
Fair.
Cool.
Sweet.
This is like a guided tour on a bus. You stop a few places, you walk around, you look, you enjoy the
Sure.
rainforest.
Yeah.
So we had a tour guide. It was obviously talking about things and like information and like stuff. Old man behind me at the end, like it's a fort. They again like that same excursion that lists like the time.
Yeah.
Dude's upset at like hour 3. The man's still talking. Like on this tour guide, the old dude behind me is upset that like the tour guide's talking
Why?
for like the last hour. Dude's just constantly bitching about like the tour guide talking. Madeline and I are getting so fed up with it because he's just constant like upset about like every comment he made. So you know what I did? Thankfully, the tour guide pointed out a building. This was like, oh, over here on the coast is actually a state-run like old person home for like people that can't afford. It's the state-run home. I'm like, I audibly and loudly say, man, if we could only ship them all there, that would be great. And the old woman like gasps.
What the fuck?
She's like, oh. I didn't do it, but I was like, I was on the verge of like, as we were getting off the
Oh.
bus, because Madeline and they were dropping us off a little early because we were being dropped off in the shopping district because we had like 3 hours before we had to be on the ship. Old man's upset because he's like wants his 5 a.m. or 5 p.m. dinner, like right away.
It's 4:30. I'm hungry.
Yeah, I was getting off the bus. I wanted to turn around and be like, you are the one of the most miserable persons on vacation I've ever met, but I didn't because I was just trying to like not let him ruin my vacation. But holy shit. I was really happy about my comment about we could only ship all the old people off to the home. That's where they needed to be. But the tour guide was being too tour guidey. The adventure excursion was too adventure-y, and the tour guidey excursion was too tour guidey. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't even know what comment to make about this. Like, it's in the fucking name. I'm sure it was. Like, guided tour. You expect, like, what do you expect? Somebody not to talk to you? When you sign up for something like that? I don't get it.
I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand. Yeah, those are like the big stories. Another one, I think there's another one I'm not thinking of currently at the moment, but again, I'm not complaining. I'm complaining about those people, but that's like, again, the theme of the vacation was Madeline had a great time. Was it
Sure.
perfect in the sense that, like, yeah, sometimes the venues were a little crowded because a lot of people were there? Yeah, sure, whatever. But, like, when you kind of, like,
Step back and look at it. What else are you gonna do? You're in a
yeah,
boat. Like,
we we
it's
weren't in a
fine.
rush for anything.
No.
We just wanted, we wanted to enjoy our time. We wanted to have fun. We did. Like, I think people get into this mindset of like, oh man, I spent a lot on this vacation. It better be like perfect, and but they
People
don't
spend
realize.
a lot of money to go to Disney every day, and all they
Well, I
do
think
is wait in lines.
I know, and I'm like, I think they forget that like we all like. I know you spent a lot of money to do this vacation, but don't forget we're all in your boat. Like, we're all in this same boat, paying the same amount to be here, varying, but like
Yeah.
we're all equals here. Maybe like I get
But
you're upset we're all here, but you're not like any more special than any of us. Like,
but they
we're all
are,
here.
Nick, and that's where you're wrong. They're more
Yeah.
special.
So okay, so now here's some not fun stories. So the first time we were on a ship, we had maybe like one announcement that we heard for an emergency. I think someone slipped on the pool deck. That was the first year. It wasn't anything bad. This year, like every day, there's what was called a code alpha, where they say like, "Hey, please avoid this area. There's medical things going on." Um, there were so many on this cruise. So it was like our second night of dinner at a. Have you ever been at or ever heard of a Brazilian steakhouse and how it works?
Yeah,
Okay,
I have.
so I I'm very torn
I've
on.
heard some horror stories too.
I
But like
I
my
don't
cousin,
inherently hate what.
went to one once and didn't know how it worked.
Oh yeah,
And like he was like, "Bring on the food." And it was like the appetizer. They didn't even get to the food yet.
and
And
he's
he's
like
like
done.
full. Yeah.
Yeah, so the way the Brazilian steakhouse typically works, you come into the restaurant, you sit down. They typically have like a salad bar of some sort. I say salad bar. It's normally like an appetizer,
Yeah.
like
It's a
warm
bunch of
yourself
stuff.
up bar.
Yeah.
You start your meal that way. There's little stuff. This one had like there's like always bean salads and pasta salads and salad and some soup and some sushi and some like charcuterie esque stuff. That was this one. Um, Once you're done with that, you start like your regular meal. Now, I've had it happen two different ways now, and I think both are normal. That's just kind of how the place does it specifically. So the first time I went to one, the sides and the meat were brought around each table, and you like said, "Oh, do you want like a piece of corn?" You say, "Yeah," and you like pull it off. Or do you want rice? Yeah. Do you want meat? Yeah, and they cut it off. This time, when I did one, they brought all the sides ahead of time to the table, and then the only thing that came around was meat. But
Okay.
basically, the idea with a Brazilian steakhouse is people are constantly coming up to your table asking if you want whatever they're serving.
Whatever cut of meat they happen to have.
Yeah. So this one was like pork loin, lamb, flank steak, filet, sausages, and some sort of chicken. Like there was a lot. And you had a little
Yeah.
card, and you flipped it over if you wanted to be like me, and you just like whatever. I don't inherently hate. I love the food's always good. I enjoy the Brazilian way of cooking things, and I don't inherently hate that like a bunch of meat is brought around to be able to try a lot of stuff. I just don't like the concept in the sense that I get annoyed because it's just like it has to be such an event.
Yeah.
Like
It's a
I
very
there's something nice
that's
about
like
going.
dinner with a something going on. It's
I like
it's it's
ordering a
almost like
dinner
going
and
to a
having it come
hibachi
to me.
bar, you know?
Yes,
Like it's a dinner but it's also an event.
yes. So we're waiting for our sides for a while. We actually hear an announcement. There's a code alpha, and we're like, oh, okay. Um, so then we're sitting there, and our waiter hasn't come around for a while. Apparently, our waiter is part of like whatever zone they called. He's part of that zone's like response team.
Uh
Our waiter just like had to. Our waiter's like helping someone.
yeah. Okay.
She's like, someone's like, I'll be your waiter now. I'm like, oh, okay. Um, so the second day, we decided to do the buffet for breakfast because we woke up a little bit later, and the buffet like went to like 10:30 for breakfast. So I go
Okay.
up there, and I'm like trying to find a table, but like half of the one section's like held off. And apparently I missed the announcement, but someone died in the back of the buffet.
God.
Yeah, like cuz I start peering around. I'm like, why is this section closed? There's like 10 different like Filipino like waiters all just holding up sheets and stuff. There's like there's everything's like roped
Mm-hmm.
off.
Yeah.
Apparently like grandma was woke up and was at the buffet just chowing down, and they like had to pull the paddles out. They had an AED, and that resuscitated her a little bit, but she went back into like cardiac arrest.
Mm-hmm.
So they got like the fancy like they got the
Yeah.
paddles, and apparently she passed away. But yeah, someone like died in the middle of the buffet. Um, but here's the thing: if I'm gonna die anywhere, dying on a cruise ship is like the best case scenario because like
That
you're
doesn't
drunk, you're
sound
full, you're
bad, except I bet you that would be a surprise for the family back home.
yeah. I told Madeline though, I'm like, this is if like we're gonna die, and if we're on a cruise together, and like I'm like been drinking for 3 or 4 days, and we're at the buffet, and I'm just like gorging myself, and I just die, like
Yeah.
I'm like, there's a lot of worse ways that like there's a lot of like less happy ways to go. So not that you want to die on a cruise, but if you're gonna die somewhere, cruise kind of like is like
Yeah.
the amount of respect those Filipino workers did to your body, like hell. I can go die in my house and like have some like late night EMS staff pissed off because they were like woken up at like 3 a.m. to come to like the local fire hall. People were sitting there enjoying their like nighttime sleep. Meanwhile, Grandpa, needs them. Like I don't know if the Filipino workers love their job or hate their job, or like they're miserable and they're like being like abused third world countries. They at least act happy. Like you don't feel bad that like you feel bad if like you'd have this whole ship of workers you feel like are being exploited, and like you can see it in their eyes that they're like upset. You can't get that vibe, so like I don't know.
Yeah.
They're very friendly, they're very like nice. They make jokes, they do things, so they're not the worst people to be like helping again. But yeah, that was crazy. I was just like trying to get my waffles in the morning, and I'm just like, looking over there, and like Meemaw had one too many mimosas.
Yeah, for real.
Um Unfortunately, we didn't have any like pier runners of like people last minute trying to get on the ship.
Okay, well that sounds good.
I don't know. I've always seen the videos. We always play it safe. You're are on ahead of time, but I've always kind of wanted to see like the people like running and everyone waving to them on the ship. Like,
Too late.
Too late. You know. Other than that, nothing too crazy on our end. We like things worked out. That storm, all that rain we had Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
Or Sunday, Monday. We saw this. We met the beginning of that storm in the sea.
Oh.
We didn't actually get to go to Bermuda because of it. Like that storm started
That was the
it
one.
out.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and we had to avoid going to Bermuda because of it going up. Yeah, kind of rough seas a few days at the end because of that storm, but like nothing like we were sitting there and chairs were flying around like those like horror videos.
Yeah. I've seen a
But
couple of them, but
yeah,
they seem like
definitely
outside of the normal.
The one day we laid in bed a lot because it was just like I think there was like uh I think there were like 6 to 8 foot waves. So it was definitely like
That's not a calm sea, but it's also
no.
not unheard of.
No, no. Um
It's also a big ass boat.
it is a big ass boat. The big thing was when it's windy. I mean, you've obviously driven your like dad's van in the wind.
Yeah. I mean,
It
my
does
truck
well
does
with
it
this.
too.
Yeah, it those type of vehicles do well in the waves, but when like
They're
40 knot winds
giant
comes,
sails. Yeah.
yeah, like that's when it like really that's where they do really bad is wind.
Yeah.
Waves good, wind bad. They're just big flat boards that just
Yeah.
like whew.
But wind brings waves too. It's one of
Yes,
those things. But yeah,
hand in
I know what
hand.
you mean. Absolutely.
Um,
I'm looking at a menu for a Brazilian steakhouse somewhat near me, by the way.
are
It
you?
sounds really good. Yeah.
I I would like I would say it's the food is good. Again, don't get me wrong, the food is good. I don't inherently hate being able to try a lot of stuff. It's nice. You like uh oh, gift for you. Like, ooh, is it nice to be able to get some tenderloin, some pork, some crispy
Yeah,
pork
no.
belly?
I'm with you. I think it's a cool event, but it is an event. If you're looking to
Yeah.
go out and just eat dinner and talk to somebody, this is not the place to do it, probably.
No. I had lamb for the first time. I keep forgetting to bring it up to Fee because I know, like, I remember recently he said he had lamb when he had that like
Yeah,
fancy.
he had some fancy dinner that he got to choose an entree and he said, "Let's go for lamb," and he thought it was really good. I
Yeah,
don't know if
I
it was the cut or just like the place he was at that was good. I'm not sure like what part was the good part.
I was happy with it. Have you ever had lamb?
No, I don't think so.
It's like beef, but not like
Yeah.
it's like almost it, it's where I think like impossible meat or like the fake meat, if it could reach that level of beef, you'd be like,
Okay.
this is beef, but like just like it's like
Yeah.
it was good. Don't get me wrong. Again, good. I just never had it, and I like, how did
Do
I
you know
want to
what
cook?
kind of lamb it is?
I did not.
Like, okay.
It was, I just it was
Yep.
lamb chunks on bone. I had no idea how to like cut it off because like the bone was in. I'm like, I'm just over here. I
Yeah.
just kind of don't. If I was in like a normal life, I would just like picked up and started like gnawing on it.
Yeah, fair.
Had duck for the first time.
Yeah. I don't think I've had the
Didn't
duck either.
I, they even like so I didn't realize with ducks just steak too. The, all these birds
Okay.
are just steak.
Fair. It's fine. I've heard duck is very fatty compared to chicken.
I I didn't find my like pieces to be too fatty. They asked me how I want it
Or just
cooked.
like oily, I
It
guess.
was recommended to be cooked medium for me. So even like it, like again, they cook it like it's not like chicken where you don't ask for like a
Yeah.
chicken medium rare.
Yeah.
But they were like, oh, we suggest the duck be cooked medium. I'm like, "Ah,
Great.
good.
Sounds
I'm
good.
like, well,
Send it.
that's That's more knowledge than I have. Like, if I can hand that off, like, yeah, sure.
I wasn't gonna tell you anything, so thank you.
I almost went for it, but I didn't because I didn't. I almost got escargot, the one restaurant,
No,
but I
no
didn't.
thanks. I'm okay. You can keep that.
I
I'm
wanted
not
to
a
say
big
I tried it.
shellfish guy, and that sounds like a shellfish to me. I know it's not. I understand it's different, but no thank
It's like
you.
a land fish.
It's just like you can keep your scallops, your clams, your oysters, you can keep all of them. They're just not for me. Don't
I
know what it is, not a fan.
did want one of those. I was like, because I probably will never like, in like real life ever go for it. But you know, I wanted to. I should have done it, but I wanted the
The,
scallops.
the escargot, you're saying?
I should have gone for the escargot just to have tried it, but I didn't, and I only went with I went safe with the scallops.
Gotcha.
Um, I'm trying to see if pick any pictures that like stand out. Not per se. Um, I got one of my oh, fucking sickest bar. Let me download this picture. If like I ever did, I mean this house has a bar in the basement, but like if I was ever like older
You're
in
ever
a house,
making your
and
own bar. Yeah.
if I was ever making a bar in the basement and I had like FU money at that point in life, one of the bars out in front of the restaurants, um,
Ooh.
this was
That's
outside the Brazilian steakhouse.
that's fancy.
It's like a quartz bar with like lights underneath it,
Yeah.
and
I like that.
with the low glow of ambient light everywhere else. It was
Mhm.
just like it's sick. It looks. I don't think it would be for everyone. It obviously is a very like I think a niche taste, but I love the way it looked
Yeah,
and
but
that
that
like
looks really good. I like that.
yeah. I didn't get it because it's not included with any package. But if you can see in the background in the case, there's that like Louis the 15th, like that whatever bourbon scotch, whatever that is. That's the like Lewis.
Oh, interesting.
I forget again. It's like some sort of. It's a drink you would like because you drink those types of drinks, but I don't remember what type it is. But I think it's like really not fancy, but I think it's pricey. Whether it's good or not is another thing, but it is pricey.
It's cognac.
What what is cognac? Is it like
Cognac.
French? It's like French
It is
whiskey.
French. It's a type of brandy.
Oh,
Yeah, it's named after a place. And they take the wine in the surrounding region and make it into cognac, which is
I didn't
brandy
realize
from there.
didn't realize it was brandy. I don't know if you
It's
like
like
brandy.
I think I've had it once or twice. It's nothing too special to me, but
Hmm.
it's not bad. Um, so it's like a fermented fruit juice, but it's
Yes,
a spirit.
I like brandy when it's wait, the brandy mixed with wine is typically a port, and I like
Yeah,
that. Um, but yeah, that's the sickest. I just love that bar. Super clean.
that makes me curious how much that probably is.
I don't think it's probably cheap because it and unless like unless I didn't
Holy
understand.
shit! No, it is not cheap. No, no, no. That is
You
wow.
found you found a
Yeah. PA fine wines and good spirits. It exists. It's here. You want to take a shot?
I I I I have no Well, it can't be like $10,000 because like PA Fine Wine Spirits are selling it.
Okay.
Maybe like. Am I looking at a 3 or 4 digit number?
4.
I'm gonna say 1,500.
No. You need to get closer to your starting number.
5,000.
$4,800 for a bottle.
Wow. So damn. Okay.
How many shots are in a? How many shots are in a 750 milliliter bottle?
I feel like it's a fact I knew at one point, but can't remember.
16. Oh boy. So what is that?
Because
That's
like retail, like the cost per shot would be like what they sell the bottle for retail plus a little bit. So you would take the retail price divided by 16, then add a little bit. So that way you're making a little bit.
so that price divided by 16 is $300.
So like you'd probably like expect to buy a shot for like 350 or something like that. That way they get like the value worth of the bottle in shots plus some.
And
$400.
they're probably getting that bottle cheaper, I would guess, but who knows?
They're definitely getting it cheaper, but like their whole like sales thing is they either sell the whole bottle for one price or the shots at another price, and you want to make sure you're like making your value.
Yeah. God damn, that's expensive.
I want to do it next time we go on a cruise. They have like a behind the scenes tour you can have. It's just so amazing to me that like the logistics of these ships having 10 days worth of food, drink, like it.
Oh yeah, it's crazy procedure.
The logistical amazement of how this whole thing works and how they just like hit the numbers correct all the time for it. It's a wonder. It's like a logistical wonder of the world. Like,
Yeah.
um, I assume if I like, I assume the people that are making the big bucks with these I'm sure it was like some dude that was like 30 years of military logistics experience gets offered a big ass paycheck by cruise companies to like handle this type of like thought process and like all
Absolutely.
that. Crazy to me. I'm bad at logistics. Like that's a weakness in life of like.
Yeah, that's a crazy logistic nightmare that they are actively figuring out and taking care of.
Yeah, yeah.
Also, that's a crazy expensive bottle of liquor. Jesus Christ, I just keep thinking about it.
Yeah.
And now I'm looking at like if I were to buy an expensive bottle of scotch, what would it be? So I'm looking at bottles right now.
I don't know. I'm kind of.
And I'm telling you, one bottle that I will someday have is a Lagavulin 16. I want to try it. That's like a $120 bottle.
Damn.
But that's like not in the thousands.
Ooh, can I get something cooking in your brain?
Yeah, cook me.
So you like scotch.
I
You're an
do.
enjoyer of scotch
I am an enjoyer of scotch.
and other
I'll
whiskeys,
even
I think.
broaden it to whiskeys. Yep,
Okay.
absolutely.
I would I would like to try to enjoy those things, but it's gonna
Okay.
be a process.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be like the whole beer route for me, where I'm just gonna have to like. I need you to
Yeah.
I need I need you to think of the Bud Light of scotch and or whiskeys that like
See,
if
the
I'd
problem
ruin
is like that's just water. No matter what bottle you pick up, it's gonna be whiskey. Like,
right, but
yeah.
like I need you to think of the Bud Light equivalent of something like pretty mild, something I can ruin for myself, something I can use to I could possibly use to learn to like just force myself to like the taste of stuff,
Okay.
but could ruin it for me, and I would never be upset with not drinking. Like I don't like I can't drink. I can't not drink a Bud Light. I never actively choose to drink a Bud Light again because of my uh how I became to like beer, and it was that I kind of just like I use Bud Light as the foundation to jump off of, and kind of ruined it for me. But I'm okay because no one cares if like my life's gonna be fine if I never have a Bud Light again. Like I'm not. But
Yeah.
don't get me to hate something that like I'm gonna regret hating.
See, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking of like, so like the first thought that popped in my head was, okay, try monkey shoulder. But then I was like, no, don't try monkey shoulder. Don't hate monkey shoulder. It's a great, relatively cheap bottle of scotch. And I don't want you
Yeah.
to hate it because it's good. But then I thought, okay, maybe you should be drinking bourbon instead. I think bourbon is a little easier on people. Like when I think of how aggressive something is, I think to I would have to look up the names. I think I have a bottle of Macallan. No, that I don't know if that's right. I don't think it's actually that. I think that's the good version of what I had.
Yeah. And you don't have to answer it now. I
Yeah,
put it in your
but
brain.
like I was thinking like definitely don't get an Isla whiskey, an Isla
Okay.
Scotch. That is definitely not where you start because that's
Right.
the smoky like punch you in the face with smoke flavored Scotch. I love
Good.
it, but that is definitely not where you start.
No, I need to acquire the taste before I could probably love it.
Um, and I think if you're trying whiskey, I think that bourbon is a little bit sweeter and smoother for the general part. Um, so I
The
went that
first
way.
like the first like whole bottle for me possibly is just me sitting like it'll have to be on the rocks, like mostly melted to get the water and to dilute it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's gonna be like me with this trash can here, and like right
Mm.
now, a lot of those like if I like drink the times I've had to try to drink like straight Jameson, it's
Mm.
just immediate gag reflex. Like I need
That
it.
that far. Okay.
Yeah, like I'm like it's like just dry heave, not like actually puking, but like again, this is gonna if I try this, it's gonna be a process of like the first like a while me just like training my
Mm.
body to. But it was like that with beer for me too. The first couple beers I had, actually, I drank them in the shower because I'm like, oh, if I puke, I'm in the shower. Like,
Hmm. I've never had like I'm trying to remember the last time I've puked because of the taste of something. I don't think it has ever happened to me.
and I
I
didn't like
hate mushrooms,
puke.
but I can handle like
It's just like a immediate dry like.
I guess my mushroom is what you're talking about. Now that I think about it, like cooking mushrooms makes me gag. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll admit to that one.
I and
But yeah,
I'm a sweet guy. Like the issue is that like
I'm,
I had
there's
this
only
whole
so
idea in like
sweet you can get. Though is the
no no
problem.
no no, but like in drinking in general, all alcohol. Like when I like first started drinking, I grew up sodas, tea, like the cool tea coolers, all that
Mm-hmm.
stuff. Alcohol is never like inherently sweet. Like the cocktails, yes, you can make sweet and they're like overly done, but you know,
So
most most base spirits, most the things like drinks are built off of are like the exact opposite palette of like what I
yeah,
like. So it's like with beer, I had to acquire the taste because beer is not like a soda.
yeah, fair. Um, speaking, basically, my advice to you, and it'll probably stay the same, is just buy some fairly cheap bourbon. If you want names, I love Bullet Bourbon and Woodford Reserve. They're like just above bottom shelf. Like they're nothing special, but they're not bottom of the barrel.
Hmm.
But I don't know if that's what you need to get past gagging. I don't know if you need to
Exactly.
go that far
And
to
I
get
don't know if I
past
can be able to
gagging.
do it, but like I would definitely try it.
Yeah.
After a while, you just kind of like my in my mind, after a while of you like just telling your body like this, it just says okay, whatever, I'll like this.
And that's fair. Your story of wanting sweet alcohol, though, reminded me. I just made pizzelle cookies the other day.
Hmm.
I make three different kinds usually every year. I go with like a bog standard vanilla. right?
Mm-hmm.
Safe bet. I make like a chocolate chip one. Got some little mini chocolate chips that I put in it. Put a bunch of cocoa powder in there. They turn brown like chocolate, you know? They're good.
Yep.
Last flavor, almond amaretto. So I
Okay.
take almonds and make like an almond flour with them.
Okay.
And then I dump in 2 shots of amaretto. Like what's the name? Di Serono.
Okay.
And I took a shot for myself while I was cooking. And that stuff is straight cough syrup to me.
Is it?
Oh, it's so fucking sweet. It's like an almond liqueur
Yeah.
kind of thing. God, it's
Uh,
sweet.
see, Madeline isn't a huge fan of them, but I love a lot of dessert wines, like the ice wines. They're
Yeah,
just they're like punching your mouth sweet, but I love them. They're like it's like almost drinking like simple syrup at that point, like almost
that's
at that point.
that was what I got when I
Yeah.
drank this.
Um. But yeah, I wish I wasn't. It'd be nice if I wasn't, but it's just like weirdly the palate. It's not. It's just the palate.
And
I was getting.
there's nothing wrong with it.
No,
If you,
it's just annoying with alcohols because it's like that. Now,
sure.
my favorite cocktail has whiskey in it.
What? What is it?
Green tea, a green tea drink, which is
Okay.
a third Jameson, a third peach schnapps, and a third sour mix.
Okay.
But the big part of it is the Jameson whiskey. Like
Yeah.
it's very strong taste to it. But the peach schnapps mellows out a lot of the peach schnapps does a lot to mellow out that
You know,
flavor.
okay. Have you ever had a Manhattan?
And not
That might be another that like might be one of those cocktails that's a step towards whiskey that you could
good.
enjoy. Because
Maybe maybe
that's it's just, oh fuck. I don't even, God, I'm not a cocktail person.
I never thought you were truly because you would just do
Um
it's
like I have the stuff to make one and I'm trying to remember what it is.
whiskey, vermouth, and
It's
then some
vermouth, yeah.
bitters.
So like
Sweet vermouth.
exactly. So that's why I'm saying that might be a middle ground for you to try someday
Hey,
if you're ever interested.
you
And
know,
then when you get enough of that, go to an old fashioned.
yeah.
But that's another step because that's like whiskey and some sugar, basically.
Maybe I'll have to. Maybe I'll get a rye whiskey. Does it have to be a rye whiskey, or can it just be whiskey in general?
I've just used whiskey or
Okay.
bourbon. I mean, I would probably go for a bourbon. I've had bourbon Manhattans. They're fine. They're good.
Yeah, maybe that's what I do.
And then like the old fashioned is like another step because an old fashioned is it's literally sugar, bitters and bourbon. So, and there's this whole thing about water in bourbon that some people like to, or I should say whiskey. Some people like a couple drops of water in whiskey. Some people say it can make it more intense for your first sip, though, because it has something to do with oils being pulled to the surface of the drink.
I thought that was the whole point of people like wanting it neat versus on the rocks.
Well, I think when you get deep, it's more of measured in drops of water. Like
Gotcha.
someone will drink it with a couple drops of water.
Gotcha.
Um, when you're in deep, I don't think many people drink it with ice, but also drink it however you want it, kind of thing. You know?
I hate warm drinks. That's one of the reasons I can't come around to. It's one of the reasons that the last when we did our wine thing with for Fredo's wedding, and we were going up and down. I I don't know if I think I said it, but I don't know if you like remember it. I tried a lot of like dry stuff. Like
Yeah,
the first one we did, I did the dry list instead of the sweet side
yeah,
that I think you did. It's because I did the sweet side so many times. I've
sure.
attempted to like the reds, my inherent issue with reds is a lot of reds are bitter, and bitter has never been. If you like,
I'm
if
not
you
a
had like a
huge bitter person either. Yeah.
if you have like a palette diagram, mine
Bitter is
like
on the opposite of sweet, and you like sweet things.
yeah, it would so that so they're inherently bitter, but I do like a lot of in white wine. The only thing you get really in a barrel is a Chardonnay. They'll do some Chardonnays in oak barrels, and you get a very like smoky, like oaky taste. I
Yeah.
love that, but it's the only like real thing you get kind of in with the oaky taste. So
And
I want to
okay, maybe you do need an Isla whiskey because that's smoky.
maybe with reds, it's very common with that. It's just like almost all reds are warm, and I don't love red. That's why like I
Yeah.
don't know with like if you know with like wine glasses, if it's a white wine, you hold it by the stem, so your hand doesn't warm up the wine and it stays cold.
Oh
If
Jesus. Okay.
if it's a red wine, you hold it by the glass, so the heat of your hand.
Uh-huh. I understand. I see the reasoning. I never would have known that or thought about it.
Yeah, if you're sitting down and having a white wine that's chilled, you
Yeah.
pick it up by the stem and drink it by the stem. If you're gonna have a red wine and it's warm, because there's obviously overlays with both.
Sure.
But a warm red wine, you'll pick it up and hold it by the glass, and that's why there's people don't just hold it away. Well, they'll hold it whatever way they want. But if like you wanted to like hold it
That's what I
right,
mean by like when you get in deep. That's kind of what I meant with the whole water thing.
yep,
Like
no, I
first
understand.
off, have whatever the fuck drink, however you want to drink it your own way.
Yeah,
But for the people that have gone deep and are interested in learning more kind of deal, there are some different ways that people suggest and have, you hear about it one way enough and you start to see a pattern and a reason. Like, for instance, this is a whiskey glass, it's a Glencairn.
hmm
Like, this is the go to if you really want to drink whiskey and get the most out of it. Something about the shape and the nose thing and all that, like, that's the glass. This is a pretty small glass, by the way. Like,
yes, it's
there's
not.
there's not
Well,
much
wait,
to
well,
it.
how about the whiskey glasses that spin?
Yeah, sure, dude.
You ever see those?
I think so. Yeah.
I thought those are like really expensive. Are they not? I'm trying to like look.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
The the revolving crystal rocks glass.
Yeah. And maybe you end up being a guy that likes whiskey stones or something like that, you know? Like you get those freezer rocks and you use them. So you don't water down your whiskey, but you get it cold because you sound like a cold person. There's
Do you
like
do you have a preference? Do you, like you don't care if your
I
drink's
drink
warm?
it warm and neat. That's how I drink whiskey.
Ah, just warm. Who wants? I'll drink warm water. Like, but I don't know. My average
I
drink, I like
like I
cold.
don't to me the thought I don't like it watered down. I will say that. So that's a reason.
That's fine. That's fine.
Should I be looking into whiskey stones? I don't know. I don't think I care enough.
You don't have to.
I
Again,
I get I get enough out of it and I enjoy it warm just fine, I think.
I'm the type of person that like if I had the ingredients for like green tea stuff, I would put the Jameson in the freezer, the peach knobs in the like fridge,
Mhm.
and all that stuff would be super chilled for the drink.
Mhm.
But
And I think I'd be
yeah,
that way with cocktails too, but like for the most part, I don't know. It's whatever.
I enjoyed
Especially
my
like if I'm just going out, I'm going to grab a glass and have some whiskey. I'm going to grab a glass, grab the bottle and pour some whiskey, and that's it. It's just simple, and that's how I've enjoyed it.
now. I will say I didn't hate the Crown Royal and ginger ale, but I wish they had Crown Apple. I do think I like Crown Apple with and like
Fair?
I like the apple. It's very fake apple, but I like the quote unquote sweetness it adds with ginger ale.
Sure.
Maybe I'll get like that with some ginger ale.
Maybe I gotta do a tour of whatever whiskey bottles I have. Maybe I'll be taking some pictures and writing some notes because I'm doing rapping probably tomorrow.
Oh,
so that's gonna be a whole thing.
so do you have the bottle picked out?
I'm I think I'm gonna go through like all of them and try them now that we're talking about this today. I
Big day
know
for me.
I know I have Monkey Shoulder. I know I have Glenfiddich. I think I have like 2 or 3 more though too.
Gotcha. I forgot. As soon as you mentioned it, I remembered about it, but I inherently forgot. But the minute you mentioned about wrapping
Yeah.
day, I forgot it was. I forgot it was A, an affair for you, and
Oh
B,
yeah.
like
I fucking
like a
hate it. So alcohol is involved now.
yeah. I have to wrap 2 presents for Friday. I have to get Madeline to get me some wrapping paper. My work people. The rest I can wrap on like Saturday, Sunday for family. But okay. Yeah. Next week you need to catch me up from the last 3 weeks.
I'm gonna be honest, there isn't much, but that's
Bro,
fine.
there's
We
so
can do
much and
that.
you don't even realize.
Yeah,
I need
probably.
a whole recap of Twitch meta. I
Oh
missed the
God.
entirety of
Oh,
Twitch meta.
okay. All right. Okay.
I missed. I went away. Twitch apparently imploded upon itself, and then like apparently Twitch was
No,
like
yeah,
crazy for a week.
it was. It wasn't a week. It was a day.
Okay.
But yes,
Okay.
I can TLDR you on that one.
Okay.
If you think of anything else, write it down because I'm gonna
I
forget
will.
it.
Yep. No, that's fine. Okay. That's all we have for this week's episode of Thursdays Are the Best Days podcast. Thanks for listening and goodbye.
See you later.